Oh man, so on a shortened week with a bit of a sleepy Saturday, we've got Bitcoin hovering around 40,500, but Phantom falls today 1.3%, currently sitting at $1.16. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you the exact chart pattern I'm seeing, and are we going to break that bearish continuation pattern which we've been speaking about for the last few days. We're also going to look at some fundamental analysis because I've seen some on-chain metrics for both Bitcoin and Phantom which are particularly bullish. I'm going to explain exactly what is the superpower of Phantom, and why is it so many people are holding Phantom, and why is it so skewed in the favor of a positive move. So as always guys, if you appreciate this blend between technicals and fundamentals, even on a weekend, hit up the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. As always, these videos are brought to you by myself. Yes, more about our course member live streams in the link in the description, ijaz.uk/member. So without further ado, you can see here, Bitcoin has pretty much just been consolidating. We're here on the hourly chart, and you can go as far back as 11th of April, where we first attempted to break through 39,100, and you can see we ran as high as 41,500. We've just been in this range. We couldn't break above this yellow line, so we couldn't start moving into our bullish scenario, but equally we have held up some strength. You can see higher lows, which is good, and we're creating a little bit of a trend to the upside. But as I've mentioned, we cannot help but believe this is just a calling off period. It's just a continuation pattern before a big move to the downside. Calling off, move to the downside. Calling off, move to the downside. Is this just another calling off before a pronounced move through 40,000 and head towards 37, 38, that type of region? This is what we need to be aware of. Now, obviously the market's had a bit of a shaky mark in itself, right? It's been a weird week. It's been a shortened week due to yesterday's national holiday. And that is obviously going to have an effect in terms of where the market is heading. So we're going to have to see, where do we open up on Monday in terms of the stock market? And that is going to dictate whether Bitcoin can start moving back towards 41,600 and try to build its way back up, or is the market going to panic and are we going to start trying to lose our 40,000 mark again and start heading towards 39? Remember, if we zoom out, we're seeing some horrible levels, right, to the downside. We don't want to be talking about these levels, but we can start heading towards 37 and then 35, and even the bottom of our wedge here at the 33 to 34 range. That is what I'm preparing for personally, and doesn't mean I'm going to sell any of my coins. I won't at all, but I'm preparing some cash on the sides to be buying that dip if we get the opportunity at this point, because you best believe if Bitcoin starts falling to this level again, some of our altcoins are going to be on severe discount again, and that's where I'm going to be ready to be buying dip. Let's have a refresh here of the fear and greed index, and sitting here on Saturday, we're sitting at a 28. Okay, so a little bit of a notch up from yesterday. That makes complete sense as we're kind of sitting above 40,000. Remember, as soon as you lose that 40,000 mark, you do start to see fear and greed index really start to get very fearful indeed. Now, looking at Phantom, you can see we're 1% down on the day-to-day, and we're in this big bearish continuation. But within this continuation, we've got a smaller one, and we've had this little bit of a consolidation, exactly the same as Bitcoin's been consolidating. You can even see the move to the upside as Bitcoin tried to run and then got sent back down again. And the risk now is, are we going to break to the downside and continue our move towards $96? That's what we need to keep an eye on. I know it sounds horrible. That would also post a lower low than the one we saw before, because this low here on Phantom was at 103. If we head below 103, we'll be creating a lower low, and this downtrend will continue, as you can see from our EMA ribbon. Okay, so you can see, if we zoom in here, you can see two things which are suggesting we could be heading to the downside. Bring that into the screen. And what you can see here is, not only is this Fowley candle trying to break out from our purple bear flag here, but also you can see we're getting rejected by EMA ribbon. So when the two things collide, looking very unlikely for us to build up the bullish strength to break through this, unless some catalyst happens over the next few hours, unless Bitcoin starts to move for whatever reason. Phantom looks like it's going to break out of this pattern here and start working its way further down. Okay, so what I'm personally doing is I'm waiting to nibble, not nibbling just yet. I want to see something, 110 or sub, and I'll start with very small nibbles, and the closer we get to 103, 104, which is where I was making my last few purchases, I'll be topping up some more. If we fall below 103, I'm going in heavier and heavier on Phantom, because for me, those are absolute bargains. If we head over to the weekly chart, this is where you start to see that we could be in a downward trend for quite a while, because we're getting, we did get hugely rejected by our EMA ribbon here. You remember this weekly candle here? Huge rejection by our EMA ribbon. After 3 good weeks in a consolidation, we got sent back down, and now you can see we're starting to head back to the bottom of this weekly wedge. So that is why our target sits at 96. I know it doesn't sound fun. We could be even heading slightly below that, but this is some serious support on 96. So Bitcoin would really have to lose some major dollar value in order for Phantom to start falling to some of those levels there. Okay, so that's what I'm looking out for here on Phantom. Now, let's look at some bullish content because it's not all negative news. If we look at the Bitcoin balance on exchanges, this is an important on-chain metric which Glassnode provide. You can head over to the Glassnode website and look at these on-chain metrics yourself. You can see in gray, we've got the Bitcoin price, and in this golden color, we've got the exchange, the balance on exchanges. Now, you can see this is curling over hugely. This is a big decline in balance on exchanges. Now, why is this a bullish thing? This is a bullish thing because it means people are moving their balances out of the exchanges. It means they're going into hardware wallets, and it means they're unlikely to sell. Okay, people move generally speaking, people move their money onto exchanges when they're looking to offload it. So this is a hugely bullish indicator because it means there's less supply, therefore that can push the price upwards. Now, the other bullish thing I want to share with you is on Phantom. If you take a look at Phantom and you look at this metric in particular here where my mouse is, you can see that 38% of Phantom supply is on exchanges. This is very low, which means that the rest of it, and this is Phantom Superpower, is either being staked or it's being farmed for yield on DeFi wallets. Now, this is huge for Phantom, right? This is one of the hugely bullish scenarios around Phantom, is that people invest in a project like I do because I fundamentally feel Phantom is undervalued, right? You can watch my video where I explain in terms of total value locked, why is it so undervalued, and you can see the breakdown there. So I believe long-term, they're going to be a solid layer one solution. They can easily do a 10x in market cap to kind of get to the levels of Luna, Solana, these kind of guys, and then maybe even head on from there when the market's growing and it's bullish and Bitcoin's heading towards $100,000. Why can they not do a 20x from there, right? These are the kind of things we hope for. But even in the short term, for those people who don't believe in that vision, they're getting good yields, right? They're staking, they're using Tomb Finance, they're using Beethoven, they're using Liquid Driver, right? They're using Deuce, and they're making good yield, better than inflation, right? Better than they're getting in their bank account. So you got two types of people, and some with both. You got people who are holding in Phantom for the long-term vision, but even if they didn't believe in the long-term vision for whatever reason, their money is still better in Phantom because they're achieving from the yield. And this is Phantom Superpower, because the more staked and hard to move those coins are, the better it is for the price. A better opportunity for Phantom to get some bullish momentum and really start to see some good moves in price action when the market is bullish. Now, there's nothing you can do about this environment right now. I mean, you could even argue, why is Bitcoin down right now? There's nothing Bitcoin can do right now. The wider macroeconomy is in a nervy time right now. We've come from 2-3 years of hugely unprecedented help from the government in the economy, money printing, right? 40% of all US dollars ever circulated were printed in the last few years. Maybe that's changed since I've last read it, but it's huge, right? Record inflation. Now we're suddenly starting to see interest rate hikes. What do you expect? You've got a Russia-Ukraine war as well. So there's peak fear in the market. But this is where we need to manage our psychology. This is where we need to find our high conviction plays, rotate into them, have the conviction, get rid of those emotional things, write things on post-it notes and say, at this level, I'm buying because I've got conviction. And then execute on that plan. Because the markets are designed to shake you out. The big whales want to buy at lower prices. They always have done. If they want to back Phantom, they want to be buying Phantom sub $1. If they want to buy Bitcoin, they want to buy Bitcoin around 32, 33. That's where the whales buy, right? So that they need to shake out the weak hands in order to move the price there so they can accumulate, fill their bags, and then when the move to the upside goes, it's too late for you. You're trying to time your way back into the market. You're buying in at 50. You're FOMOing in at 60 with the green candle disease. That's what we not want. That's what we don't want to do. So if you have true conviction, if you've done your research, if you believe in Bitcoin, if you believe in crypto, if you've allocated your portfolio, and you know this much of my portfolio is going to Phantom, you calculate it and it equals 10 grand. You go, okay, I need to allocate 10 grand to Phantom. This is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to wait for it to pull back to here. I'm going to execute on this much. I'm going to wait for it to pull back a little bit more. I'm going to execute this much. If it goes below $1, this is how much I'm going to apply. That is the way smart investors invest over time, and that's a sustainable way of doing it. Not because your friend told you to go into Phantom and you put 100% of your portfolio into Phantom. That is the quickest way to get wrecked. All right, guys, enough ranting from me. That is the market's quiet, sleepy Saturday, but we need to wait for that bear flag to break out to the downside. If there's a good news catalyst and Bitcoin wants to run back to 41, 42, 43, great. Phantom will move with it. But I'm getting myself prepared for the downside scenario because there's a clear downward trend. There's a clear continuation bearish flag pattern, and it'll be irresponsible for me not to mention that to you, but also prepare ourselves in our portfolios to prepare for those dips. Now, if you don't have conviction and you're somebody that's going to panic sell when Phantom gets to 96 cents, then you have to ask yourself the question. 1, why do I not have conviction? 2, how do I get conviction? And 3, if I can't get conviction, maybe you're better off selling now. And I know people in the community won't like me saying that, but that's the reality, right? If you're going to panic sell at 96 cents, why don't you panic sell now at $1.16? You don't have the conviction anyway, right? That is why it's really important to have conviction. There you have it, guys. Don't forget to smash up the like button and subscribe if you appreciate these updates. The blend between technicals and fundamentals is what I'm committed to delivering to you guys. If you like my perspective, don't forget to check out our course member live streams, ijaz.uk/member. Links in description. 3 times weekly live streams with me. You can ask me any questions on any coins, tokenomics, fundamentals, technicals. We can critique your portfolio. We can talk about what I'm doing in the market and a whole lot more. Get yourself set up, ijaz.uk/member, and I'll see you.